Cooler weather is around the corner, but while warm weather is still here, take advantage of our $49 home comfort checkup. Stay comfortable year-round with our services at Premier Heating and Air. And rebates are starting at $1,500 with the purchase of a new heating and air system and your choice of a free gift from a $100 Visa gift card, Wi-Fi thermostat, or UV light. Experience the Premier difference today and stay comfortable year-round with our services. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Log on to premierishere.com.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at CrossFit DGA. I'm here with Mr.
Eric Bland.
Now, Eric, before we start getting into what we're here to talk about today, tell us a little bit about you, your family, where you grew up at.
Yeah, so born and raised here in East Dublin, Georgia, with East Lawrence my whole life. Graduated from there in 2000. Went off to college. Graduated from Georgia College in 2005. Eventually moved back here. Back to Dublin. I've been fortunate enough that we have owned a couple of different other businesses. We've been in the restaurant business some, but concurrently, since 2011 to 2025, I've been the sole owner and the sole proprietor here at CrossFit DGA here in Dublin, Georgia.
Well, so now, tell me how getting to CrossFit, especially because you'll be like a technical CrossFit planner in a sense.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? Because did you just get in touch with CrossFit like, hey, I want one in Dublin, Georgia, let's make it happen? Or how did that work?
Yeah, so we call it being an affiliate, right? So you go through the affiliate process and all that good stuff. But one of the great things about, I guess, for me, in 2009-ish, I found fitness. And I guess specifically, I found CrossFit. And so one of those times in my life that, God gave me the thing or the tool that I needed at the right time. I found it, started utilizing the method, fell in love with the method, and I was like, man, I would really love to own an affiliate or start an affiliate here in Dublin, because obviously we didn't have one. And so I went through that process, and I tried my best to get it started at a couple of other facilities, because I had a great job. I worked in corporate America, I had insurance, I had a company card, a gas card. I didn't really think it would be feasible to leave my corporate America job to try to start an affiliate. So I did. I tried to start it at a couple of other gyms. I was going to let those gyms actually own the affiliate, and I was just going to help them get it started. And fortunately or unfortunately for me, those gyms did not have space for me at the time. And so that took me, ended up meeting Brian Millett. He owned the Bullpen, and he was willing to give me about 200 square foot of space for me to start training people. I started with my sister, was my first client that I ever had in-house in that facility. However, what a lot of people don't know is the first person that I ever trained out of my garage over here on Penn Avenue behind Middle Georgia College was Jack Walker. And so it was really interesting, people come along at different times in your life to kind of keep you motivated and keep you inspired. Mm-hmm. And Jack Walker was my first client out of my garage that gave me that. And then my sister would have been the first client that I ever trained, in our facility over there at the Bullpen. So that was in 2011. And then 2017, May of 2017, we moved into this facility that we're in here now. And so this is our 15th year, maybe 14th year that we've been doing this. And I guess it would be probably about 7 years that I've been doing this professionally. So.
Wow. Dude, it's crazy, because when you said how you just kind of let God have it, and it's crazy whenever God opens those doors and you just walk through them and just trust Him, how big stuff will grow. Because it's something we're kind of going over in church is trusting God with the little that you have and watching the blessing that comes from it. It's kind of hard to go, hey God, I got this little bit right here. It's a little bit. I kind of need this little bit, and He's going, hey, give me this, and I'll show you what I have in plan later on. Amen. Because going from 1 to 2 people, where you have, how many members do you have in here today?
So we've got about 250 members that we have in house, and then we also work with local high schools. We do their out of season and in season strength and conditioning. And so I don't know how many members that is, but I'll tell you one of the greatest things about, who we are and what we do is we tell people, we say that people come for the fitness, but they stay for the community. You go back to the gift component that God gives us, right? And so we firmly believe that fitness should be and is relational. And it's something that's super important to us, and we try to steward that responsibility well. Because we want you to become more fit, but we also want to build a relationship with you. Because we also believe that the discipline that you learn from physical fitness, you can pour that over into other areas of your life. And that's creating that whole person and that resilient human that when the storm comes or when the flood comes, you are ready, right?
That's right.
Yep.
And that's something, because the community factors is just what I love, because here's what AJ Wright usually tells everybody when he's preaching a sermon or something. He's going, you're going to be as good as your best 5 friends.
Yep.
So if you got a good community in here with a bunch of people that is going after it, then there's a good chance you're going to be going after it as well.
That's right.
And then that's going to pour in to everything else. It's just crazy how just that little bit of community that's good and healthy will help build you up as well and get you just as rocking and rolling.
That's right.
So now let's go more into the fitness part of it, because
Sure.
I like to call myself a lifter as well. I try to lift weights every now and then, but from what I've seen, especially like watching Instagram or TikTok or seeing it on TV, CrossFit is a whole entirely different monster.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about CrossFit within itself and as a training regimen.
Gosh, this is such a longer conversation to have. Right, so like there is a definition that the owner and founder, Greg Glassman, he was the original owner and founder of CrossFit. His name is Greg Glassman. So he had a definition, and it was constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity, right? So one of the things that's interesting about a practitioner or somebody that writes programming is intensity is relative, right? We were just having, Mitchell and I were just having this conversation the other day. It's so much of what you see on TikTok and what other
Instagram or TV,
all those different social media platforms, those are just clips, right? So those are just really small pieces of a workout that's probably showing you something that's going to grab your attention. And I think, what I want people to really understand is if you just remove the word CrossFit, right, it's just exercise at the end of the day. Intensity should be dictated by the individual, not by the workout. Mm-hmm. And so again, I want to go back to this idea of like so much of what we see on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, TikTok, all of that is there to grab your attention, right? We're here to create a relationship. And so at the end of the day, I would just caution people just to make sure whether you're looking for a new church or you're looking for a place to exercise or you're looking for a new book, like we have these beautiful intuitions that are built into us and are divinely designed, right? But we are distracted by the shiny ball or the thing that looks intense or the thing that's like really exciting at the time. And so I just want people to really understand like exercise is here to serve us and to help us live a longer, healthier life. And I think sometimes we use exercise or we use CrossFit to entertain us. And that's not at all how I believe that fitness, should be conducted. And as someone who loves fitness, and fitness has changed my life, and it's given me, it's a portal in which I see the world and that I access the world. And I think at the end of the day, fitness is here as a tool for us. And it's there to help us build our muscles, but building our muscles and building our mind. And we tell people all the time, we train the body so that it's obedient to the mind. Mm-hmm. And I think I want to encourage people to like look at fitness as this tool to help enhance all areas of your life. The discipline that we learn can help us, create a better budget, right? The discipline that we learn can help us create better relationships. The discipline that we learn can help shape our perspective. And I think so much of what's on the social media platforms is that instant gratification. And if you want to build a strong mind and a strong body And if you want to build a strong bank account, well, delayed gratification is the only way through to that. And it's always building a relationship with Jesus. Building a relationship with Jesus is not easy, right? It's not. The world is hard, and I think at the end of the day, I just want people to think about. I want people to understand, like, CrossFit is a sport, but at the end of the day, it's also just exercise. So,
I would say, dude, it's crazy how so much with your walk of Christ just translates into everything else.
Yep.
That's like walking with the renewal of your mind.
Yep.
It's coming in here. That's like, and it's crazy how the puzzle pieces fit together.
Yep.
It's like coming in here and training and enduring for the later on gratification. That's like sin in our life. We look, we go, man, that instant gratification right there will look pretty good right now. Then we get done with it, like, man, what are we doing?
Yep.
And then actually pursuing God and following through and enduring through those trials and the suffering that's going to come. Because, I don't know, I like to say this because a lot of people get a mixed up view of Christianity and following Christ. They're like, oh, it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows.
Yep.
It is not all sunshine and rainbows. It is, because I believe it's in 1 Peter, look in 1 Peter, maybe it's 1 Peter 2. I don't know, it's in 1 Peter, it's talking about, and Peter's going, he's like, hey, this is not going to be easy. This is going to be a trial, and there's times where it's going to come that you're going to suffer, but it's holding to Christ and going, I know you want good for me. I know it hurts you to see me hurt, and I know something good is going to come from this, and I'm going to pursue you and come out on top of it.
100%. And if you look at it from the perspective of, you cannot build a muscle without resistance, right? And so you need a little bit of resistance, you need a little bit of tension in your life so that you can grow through that. Same thing with your muscles, your mind. Like it needs to be a little bit hard. You need to push into the edges of your competencies so that you can grow and that you can get better.
That's it. Comfort is a killer.
That's right.
And if you get comfortable in your ways and you don't have that tension or pressure, you're just going to sit there and just rot. It's crazy. But kind of going more onto, because I got on a little rant, my bad. But now going on to the health side of it, I do understand I have a lot of kids classes here, and there is a crisis going on in America with obesity, and especially child obesity.
Yep.
So now, before I get into that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a guest come on, and they're going to talk about the crisis that's going on in America right now and how they're helping combat it, which is obesity and child obesity that it's on the rise, and it's kind of scary what's going on and how comfort is kind of coming in and kind of starting to kill us.
That's right.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick little break. Stay tuned for our guest coming on.
The weather's cooling down, football's in the air, and there's never been a better time to get a winning deal at Dublin Chevy GMC. Whether it's an EV or an HD, a GMC or Chevrolet, with savings up to $10,000 off MSRP, now's the time to get a new Chevy or GMC truck. And if you're planning those fall trips to the ball game, come check out our full selection of family-sized SUVs. So while summer might be winding down in Middle Georgia, we're just cranking up the deals at Dublin Chevy GMC.
Hey, it's Stephanie at Shamrock Honda Kawasaki. Want a great way to get around town? Come see our selection of 125 trail bikes. We'll get you going. Whether you're doing a quick commute to town, need to get around college campuses, or just a nice ride on a Sunday afternoon, this line of small 125s will be perfect for you. So come see us today, 106 Savannah Avenue, 478-272-4563. Come see us or give us a call.
All right, guys, Eric Bland, welcome back. I'm now with Mitchell Clegg. He is our general manager here at CrossFit DGA, and he runs and operates the sports performance side. I'm going to let him talk a little bit about who he is, what he does, and then we're going to jump into some other topics that we would like to discuss today.
Hey, my name is Mitchell Clegg. I am originally from Social Circle, Georgia. I moved to Dublin in 2022 after I completed my college education and my post-grad education at Georgia College and State University. I have an undergraduate degree in exercise science, and then I have a master's degree in health and human performance. Strength and conditioning is my life. I truly feel that the Lord has given me a purpose in terms of building relationships with people through health and fitness, as well as through the sport performance side of things, where I get to pour into young athletes anywhere from the ages of 7 to 18 years old and on into their college career. I get to help them become better athletes first and foremost, but also teach them about health and wellness and what it means to live a healthy lifestyle. And we kind of try to bridge those gaps of health and wellness and athletic performance and bring it all into one here at the gym. I think the topic that we wanted to cover is childhood obesity, which we all know is a major problem in not only Lawrence County, but in the community, in the world, definitely in our nation. So I guess we're going to dive into that conversation.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody knows it's a problem, right? And I think at the end of the day, as we see the problem, we want to be a resource for the community. And I think at the end of the day, we know that a moving body is a healthy body, right? And I think, one of my coaches has shared with us a long time ago, or not too long ago, was the idea of being strong to be useful. And, we have so many young kids. They're going to school. They're in school for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. They're sitting in a desk. They're not moving. They get out of school, they go home, they're on a phone or on a tablet, and so they're not getting outside, they're not being exposed to sunlight, they're not moving their bodies. And so at the end of the day, it's really it's not just a childhood obesity problem, it's a culture problem. And the kids can't go to the grocery store and buy food, okay? So not only are they're not getting outside, they're not being exposed to sunlight, they're not moving their bodies, they're living sedentary lifestyles, and then they're also being fed food that's overprocessed, that's not real food, and they're not even the people that are buying the food, right? And so then we're drinking drinks that have 10 to 15 ingredients in them. So they're not drinking water. So I just told you everything that you already know. So let me tell you a little bit. I'm going to let Mitchell tell you a little bit about how we've solved at least part of this problem in terms of getting kids to move.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said too, just to make one more point, kind of piggyback off of what you said. There is a convenience and instant gratification that comes with sugar, and that comes with fast food, and that comes with convenience stores. I've got mine right here. It's very similar to this. Yeah. And why people my age and younger have such a hard time with this is because it's the instant gratification of the highlight reel that is a 6-second reel. And you can get 6 seconds of information and you roll to the next one. And then you get 6 seconds of different information and then you roll to the next one. And that is such a trap to get sucked into. And that's why you see McDonald's and Waffle House on every corner of America, because it's super convenient and it's super satisfying when you can easily go through the drive-thru and order that 10-piece nugget meal and a milkshake and get out of there in 10 minutes and go about your day. So there's just something to be said about enduring the process of living a healthy lifestyle and moving your body and eating well and hydrating and being super intentional with the meals that you prepare and what goes into the meals versus the instant gratification and convenience of just being able to grab something on the go. So what we try to do and how we try to combat that is, I think a great way to again, kind of like I talked about, is we use sport to bridge the gap to health. And so the whole purpose behind the sport performance program is we want to make kids better athletes. Kids love sports. I love sports. I've grabbed a baseball bat from the time I could walk. I started wrestling when I was 8 years old. And those are the things that created the disciplines and structures in my life to make me the man that I am today, or part of it, And so I think when you use sport, which is what kids love to do, especially nowadays, kids spend every Saturday at the baseball field or at the soccer field, and every Sunday at the baseball field, at the soccer field. It's such an integral part of their life, but they're missing a key component. If you want to be the best athlete you can be, playing the sport and developing the skill is only half the battle. The other half is your ability to sprint, your ability to jump, your ability to move well, your ability to be strong. All of those things make up your health and your overall wellness. And I tell kids all the time, right now it seems like what we're doing is simply for sport. but it's way bigger than baseball, wrestling, softball, basketball, soccer, tennis. It's way bigger than that. We are setting you up for success for the rest of your life. Because my hope is that kids don't just want to peak in high school.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing to say, is you peaked in high school. We don't want you peaking in high school. We want you to take the principles and disciplines that you learn through sports and carry them on into the workforce, into being a great husband or a great wife, into being a great parent, into being a great member of society. And that comes from building the foundations of health. And sport is just a great way to do that.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. So he was pointing out, like, being able to jump, being able to run, or being able to sprint, being able to have core control, being able to hinge, being able to squat. Like, all those are pieces of, like, physical movement. But you also have to know how to drink water and hydrate your body. You have to know how to eat protein so that you can rebuild your muscles. You also need to understand the importance of glycogen and how carbohydrates are stored into the muscles to give you fuel so that you can do the sprinting and that you can do the jumping and you can endure on the field. And so I think what I want people to take away from this, and I'm encouraged by this conversation, because our goal is to help build the whole person, to help you create resilience in your life. Going back to Mitchell's idea about when you get done with sport, if that's 16, 17, and 18, whatever that looks like, if you're lucky enough to have the talent and the skill set to go on to play at a collegiate level, that's awesome. The behaviors and the habits that you learned when you were 10, 11, 12, and 13, those are the ones that you're carrying over with you into that new life. Taking it back to the idea, if sport is over for you, well, guess what? You're going to go into college, take those behaviors and habits and disciplines that you learned, then it's going to serve you in a more academic role. Then it's going to serve you in more of a getting ready for the workforce role. And I think at the end of the day, we're just here to help you at least create some goals and then help you align the behaviors and habits with those goals. We talk about this a lot, right? It's about being congruent. So whether it's building a relationship with Jesus, whether that's learning a new discipline or skill in the gym, whether you have academic goals, you have to have the behaviors and the habits that will align with those goals so that you can be congruent.
Absolutely. And just to kind of circle it all the way back to childhood obesity, like you said, a lot of times, well, actually all of the time, like you said, children don't go to the grocery store. A lot of times kids don't have that much control over what they can consume. However, one of the things that we have tried our best to provide is just to get kids moving. Because that's not the whole problem, and I would say that's not even the main problem. The main problem is the foundation of that pyramid is nutrition. And it is hydration. And it is sleep. And it is the ability to recover. However, a big part of the problem is kids aren't moving. Kids don't go outside and climb trees anymore. Kids don't go outside and play tag and stay outside from the time they get home from school until it gets dark. Kids are inside. They're on the tablet. They're on the video games. And not to say that it's a horrible thing, we're just trying to provide opportunities for kids to come in and move their body. And that's step one in the process. Once we get them moving their body, then we build that relationship where we can have those conversations about, hey, protein is king. What are good carbs versus what are not so good carbs? How can we build habits and push ourselves to stay away from the sugars and the sugary drinks and the candy? Eric's favorite thing to talk about to kids is no Mountain Dew and no nerd clusters. Just creating those conversations and being open and honest about, hey, how are those things affecting your day-to-day life outside of sport? How are you effective in the classroom? Can you pay attention? Like, there's something to be said about the foods that you put into your body and how you're mentally focused and able to attack your day from an academic perspective, from a relationship building perspective, really the whole kind of umbrella of life. It starts with fueling your body properly.
Yeah, and I love that. And I think this brings it back to this idea of these intuitive components that God designed us with. And I honestly don't know. We don't even, we teach kids how to scroll social media, but we don't teach them how to sit down and like sit in a room and be quiet and be with the Lord, right? And so I think at the end of the day, we live in a culture where everyone's Christian, right? And I think at the end of the day, I want people to understand that this is it's more than physical fitness. It is about mental, emotional, spiritual, and that's really what we're here to do, and what we really feel like. You know, a lot of times people don't talk about being called into being an entrepreneur to do the Lord's work, but this is what we feel like our calling is. And so we do feel like entrepreneurship and building a gym and building a community is a noble enterprise, and it's one that we take extremely serious, and we guard and protect our community. We guard and protect our young kids, and at the end of the day, we just want to give this community access to tools to children so that they can enhance their life. One of the things that Mitchell was talking about and where he was going with this whole idea of like, are you even in a good mood? Like, do people enjoy being around you, and do you bring other people value? Because at the end of the day, the thing that we are called to do is we're called to serve. And if you can't look at people and build relationships, then how can we serve them? And so childhood obesity is obviously a problem, but it's systemic from a cultural problem, that we're in the middle of. And our goal is to just be a resource and a tool so that we can combat that.
Hi, I'm Tom Dominy. Here at Dublin Wind Nelson, we pride ourselves on providing the industry's highest quality products at the most competitive pricing. We are a full-service wholesaler specializing in plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products. With a staff that collectively offers more than 50 years of expertise, our team knows your industry, and we can answer your questions and help you get the parts and equipment you need. From mowing to Renee, we carry the plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products you need from the brands you trust. We also carry a great lineup of Milwaukee tools. At Dublin Wind Nelson, our goal is the long-term success of your business. We achieve that goal with a simple commitment, doing things right, one customer at a time. If you have a question, or if you're looking for a hard-to-find part, give us a call. Our experts are ready to help. Order online, give us a call, or come by at 507 Airport Road in Dublin. We're committed to building long-term relationships with our customers by earning your business every day.
Well, ladies, we just had a great show. We got to talk about some of my favorite things, which is, of course, God and lifting. And then it was just great, dude, seeing the passion that y'all two had, talking about getting into good nutrition for these kids and getting them broken away from the comfort of, hey, I'm just going to sit on my phone all day and kind of be a lazy couch potato.
Yep.
And just let my life just go. And actually coming in here and going, hey, you have a bigger purpose than that. You just need to come in here and pursue it.
That's right.
Dude, it's awesome, dude. I love what y'all are doing, and I feel like the fruits speak for themselves. I mean, hearing your heart for it, I definitely see that you're spending time alone with God, just how passionate you are for it, and just putting God into it. And it definitely shows in your community in here, because you started with one person in a garage till your first training with just your sister, to where you have 250 people coming in here every single day, coming in here and knocking it out. And that just speaks levels for itself.
Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all need to come in here, check them out, get your kids in here, and just see this community for what it is, and come in here, find you your friends that are going to help push you to be a better person, that better person in Christ, that better person on the streets, that better person when you go to a restaurant, you don't need to order that extra fry. But come in here, check them out, and then also stay tuned for our next couple of shows. Thank you.